Hi guys. I'm really slacking on truth days here, but if you were raised by emotionally retarded parents, emotionally neglectful parents, I'm calling it emotionally retarded because I'm sick of the word narcissist. But if that was your upbringing and you have similar behaviors, but the reasons you have behaviors are different to them, like as an example, being kind to people just for the sake of being kind to people, and that's who, like, when you naturally smile at people just because you care, just because you want people to feel less alone, and you know what that feels like, and it's not coming from an image to maintain, that is you being a decent, good human that the world needs. I'm saying this because nobody told me this, and today I was just thinking about it. I'm like, a lot of traits of emotionally retarded people is that they have an image to maintain, and they're kind because of their image that they want to maintain. They're not kind because they care and they have genuine desire to help others. And that's hard to fathom when you're not like that, but there are people like that. And for so long, because I was very, like, I don't know, I'm pretty receptive to people, and, like, you know, I don't love small talk, but I do smile at strangers, you know, pet dogs, I see that kind of thing, and, like, I have conversations with people at Bell Park, you know, I'm open and receptive, I give of my energy, and for so long I used to have a lot of shame about that and thought I was just being fake, or people would perceive me as being fake, but it's because I internalized what I saw growing up, someone else showing those behaviors, but then the minute the doors were closed, those behaviors were no more at home. And so I'm reading this book. It's by David Goggins, and it's called Can't Hurt Me. So he's talking about this one section of his or this one part of his childhood, how, like, you know, his dad was very, like, outgoing, you know, service oriented when people were around, and, like, at the disco that he owned. And then, like, he expressed one specific part where it's like, but as soon as he went home and, like, there was no eyes upon him, that, like, flipped. And I felt that greatly. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking about what emotional neglect looks like, because a lot of people, I know for myself too, have internalized, like, if we're showing behaviors that might be similar to our upbringing, but they're not necessarily, like, you know, we take on the good traits, or, like, you know, we might naturally be like that with strangers. And sometimes it's people pleasing, and sometimes, like, it is going out of our way to be liked, but it's not for an image to maintain. Like, there's a difference there. So I think that's one thing to keep in mind, because, like, even today, I was out Bell Park, and I was, like, by myself, I was having a really good cry, and someone walked by me, and I just, like, kept crying. I cried even more, and I wanted to avoid it, but I was like, I don't want to just, you know, like, I was doing my own thing, trying not to engage, but it came out naturally. And so she stopped me and asked if I was okay, and then we got to talking a bit, and I realized in that moment I was trying to make her okay with my expression of sadness, and, like, that's a gift and a strength, but it's also, like, I was looking back on it and I was like, you know what, I could have just went on my way and been like, yeah, I'm fine, and, like, I appreciate you stopping, but I need to process this. And that's another thing, that if you've had emotionally retarded parents, you might be inclined to explain away why you're feeling something and make somebody else feel okay about the fact that you're sad, you're angry, you know, over explaining why you're feeling what you're feeling. And, like, there's balance. Like, of course, you know, there's a time and place. Like, you should never, I don't think children should never be responsible for holding space for your feelings as an adult. It's not their job. Yeah. Yeah, your good-natured traits, they deserve applause. You deserve to be told and reminded that they're good-natured. If you're doing it for the pure goodness of your own heart, and you're not doing it to maintain an image, that makes you a decent human being. And it doesn't mean that you're like your self-centered parent who maybe, was all giving to people when eyes were there. If you're doing it just for the sake of being good, just because that's who you are, and it just naturally comes out from you, you're a good person. Yeah.